Hello and welcome to this special program on 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. I am your host, Faith Katai. The 16 days of gender activism will commence on 25th November up until the actual day of the launch, which is the actual day of the launch, and it will run up to the 10th of December 2023. And to give us more highlights on the 16 days of gender activism is Mrs. Caroline Chiwinga, an assistant director from Gender Division at Cabinet Office. Mrs. Chiwinga, welcome to this program.
Thank you very much.
We are delighted to have you in the studio.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
So just to start the ball rolling, Mrs. Chiwinga, are you able to explain to us exactly what these 16 days of activism against gender-based violence is all about?
Okay. Like you rightly pointed out, this is a day that will run from 25th November to 10th December. And this is a time, like it says, that is 16 days of activism against GBV. So this is when various stakeholders come together to do activities around creation of awareness and other activities that they may have lined up in order to sensitize people about GBV and what it entails and even the consequences of GBV.
So where will this launch be held exactly?
Okay, first of all, tomorrow, which is the 24th, Friday, the Secretary to the Cabinet will be able to launch it on TV. And then the actual commemoration are going to take place at Mulungushi International Conference Center on Saturday, 25th. That's the launch day.
Okay, so what exactly is the theme for this campaign this year? Okay. And how do you interpret it as Gender Division?
Okay. The theme, which is an international theme, which also Zambia agreed to just commemorate using the same theme. We domesticated it as it is. So it says, unite, prevent violence. Sorry, unite, invest to prevent violence against women and girls. Yes. And then the way we interpret this theme, first of all, is the issue of prevention. A lot has been done on the response side. So as the theme is saying, it's calling our attention to issues of prevention, where we are supposed to talk about all these, like the awareness that we're talking about, the sensitization, and also to be able to address even, as we talk to the public, to address the stereotypes that are there, which a lot of people have against especially women and girls, and which perpetuate issues of violence.
Wonderful. So has government set up some activities during this campaign?
Yes, a lot of activities that have been lined up, starting from the launch day itself, which I said is going to take place at Mulungushi. And then next week, next week, from 20th to 30th, we are going to have the GBV Symposium. You appreciate that the act that spells out a lot of what we do around GBV, the GBV Act #1 of 2011, gives us the mandate to do awareness creation. So in this regard, all around the country, different stakeholders, that's government, CSOs, faith-based organizations, cooperating partners are all united to be able to raise awareness around these issues of GBV. So apart from the symposium, even within the provinces and the districts, various stakeholders are going to be doing various activities, and a number of these are going to be also showcased on, the advert is going to be put on our website and also Facebook in order to alert the public what to expect. Maybe some of them are in the very areas where these activities are going to take place. And I must hasten to mention that even in the provinces, we do have our provincial gender officers who are also coordinating these very activities. At district level, of course, we don't have officers at the moment, but we do have gender subcommittees that will be doing the same.
Okay, so this campaign, the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. This is a global campaign which is commemorated every year. So in that case, do you have any achievements, like from your office? What are some of the milestones achieved?
Yeah, there are a number of things that have happened. Like, for instance, the issues of the very sensitization. I know there's been talk like, why are the numbers going up? It could be the very issues of sensitization. Before, people never used to speak as it is. I think we'll address that even a bit later. Government has also put in place an act which brings together all multi-sectoral players, which means that a number of us that are involved in this. Is not just an issue of gender division, because gender division is coordinating, but there are other players. And through them, we've been able to do different things, like apart from the legislative environment, we do the sensitization. There are even response activities that result from this as a result of the gaps that are noticed. Issues of like the establishments of one-stop centers and all. But I also want to mention that apart from the awareness creation that we do over the 16 days, I don't know whether you remember that last year, the president launched the Are You Safe campaign. So that's a campaign that is supposed to be on running, not just when we are doing 16 days, that throughout we should be able to consider what is happening and be able to address these issues of GBV. There shouldn't be just a matter of commemoration, but there should be an everyday thing.
Okay, I heard you quite clear. You said the levels of GBV have been going up. What do you think is the cause for these cases? Why is it that the cases of GBV are increasing in Zambia?
From my perspective, I normally say there are two angles to this. First of all, we have to know that the awareness creation, it could be that actual cases are going up, or it could be because of the sensitization. So for us to really know whether these cases are really going up, that's a matter of research. And right now we are only using the ZDHS 2018, and there's one which is coming up soon because they've already started work. That's when we'll know whether there's been an increase from the one in 2018 to the one that will be either, I can see 2023 is almost coming to an end. I'm sure they will release their results in 2024. So that's when we'll know the actual. But what we have now is like the reports that go to VSU. Yes, as of last year, there were slightly over 33,000 cases that were reported. And as at now, we haven't yet reached December. There are already like 31,000 cases. So for us, again, we see this as mostly like the awareness that is there among people. They are now free to be able to talk. And when I looked at like the statistics, I think it's the ones for this year, where we see that there are about 75% plus cases that were reported by women against women. It could be that they are perpetrated against women. But an interesting thing that is happening is that even the cases that are for men have also been registered, which is about 23%. So people are getting more knowledgeable, more aware, and they're coming forth to report. Yes.
Good to hear that. It's a good move that most men now, they are opening up, because in the past you would just see women are the ones who are reporting on GBV.
Yes.
Yes. That takes me to my next question. What are some of the challenges that you have encountered as a cabinet office in fighting GBV?
Okay, there are a number of them. I think generally, even for all other players, is this issue of deep-rooted cultural norms and attitudes that are there. This is a battle that we are all fighting over time. Like I said, it's multi-sectoral, or government and other players. It's also the issues of low levels of education that are there, especially among our women folk. So, and we know that that also translates to issues of economic dependence, because they can't get jobs, they can't have the money that they need to run businesses. And also the other challenge I think that we have, like we've seen the number of cases are increasing that are being reported are on the higher side, but you see that the cases that actually reach the courts are few, and even when they are few because there are a number of factors, and one of them is this issue of people withdrawing cases when they've been reported. They withdraw them, they wouldn't want them to go into court, and especially for the women because of the economic dependence, they feel like because most of the breadwinners are men, so if the men go in, who is going to take care of their children, who is going to take care of their homes? And then also the other challenge, I think, even for the few cases that may go to court, sometimes you even find that they can't be prosecuted up to their natural close because there could be technicalities that arise. You know, there's a whole procedure as how to investigate cases of GBV. Those are some of them. I could have left others, but those are some of the key.
Okay, so are there any deliberate policies that government has put up in place to curb this vice?
Yes, there are a number of policies and acts. I mentioned about the Anti-GBV Act.
Yes.
Yes, it talks a lot about how to take care of the survivors and even how to punish the perpetrators. We also have other acts such as the Children's Code Act. You know that child marriage is also a form of GBV, and in there is the issue of now child marriage is outlawed, and there's a whole series of how we need to deal with it. There are other acts that are there, whether they have to do with education. For instance, the issue of re-entry policy talks about the GBV that's against the girls and how they can be given chances to come back. There are other laws within Ministry of Health. There are policies such as our gender policy, all those ones. And the other measures are also within our programs. Like I said, I may talk more about the programs within gender division, but this is multi-sectoral. There are other things that our stakeholders are also doing. We also have a program that we call cultural resetting, where we go through to the chiefdoms. We talk about these issues because they are rooted in culture, rooted in traditions, and we sensitize. And this year we've also even realized that we shouldn't just go to the chiefdoms like that. We also should talk to like Alangizi. You know how they talk to our girls like during the initiation ceremonies, the things they teach them. Some of them are deep, which allow like a culture of silence where women or girls take it that it's natural for violence to be perpetrated against them. So even Alangis are taken on board, and a number of other issues that we've drawn up and which we are still going to be doing. I know that some of them take time, some of them may not really be known, but it's as we continue raising awareness and sensitizing people, they will get to know about them.
Wonderful. So how often do you go like in rural areas to sensitize? Is it just in Lusaka based, or you also go to other provinces?
No, we go to all around the country. We go throughout the year, depending on the resources. I think that's one thing that I didn't mention, the challenges. Our resources are limited. The budget for the gender division is still on the small side. Yeah, so within the resources that we have, we divide, we try to spread out. And apart from that, because we can't go to all places, we also engage like with traditional leaders. Sometimes maybe it's conferences that we meet in, workshops that we meet in. We talk about these issues so that many are aware. And like for instance, this year, we had hoped that we're going to undertake a conference that was going to bring on board all the 288 chiefs, because we wanted to reach them all at one time. But what limited us was the very issue of resources. So we hope we can bring them together next year and be able to address these things, because my PS is passionate that we shouldn't just have like a few chiefs hearing or religious leaders, and I must mention that even the religious leaders, because you know these are key, whatever they say, people listen to. So that they should all hear it at the same time, even if some of them may not be as fast as to implement, but at least they would have heard on their own rather than someone else going to tell them. So we are hoping we'll have the resources both from government and partners to be able to hold this conference, because we feel that it's going to go a long way to create awareness upon our chiefs, and for us to look at the best practices and how we can strengthen even the fight against GBV.
Wonderful. So in this fight against GBV, are you able to mention to us other stakeholders that you are working with?
Yes.
I know you've mentioned a few,
Yeah.
but I would like you to elaborate more.
There are a lot of stakeholders that are involved. Government line ministries. There is some ministries that are in the referral pathway, like Ministry of Education, Health, Social Welfare, a number of them like that. And then we have civil society organization, different ones. I don't know whether you want me to mention that, like to isolate them. There are a number of them. We have maybe I should mention that we do have a coordination group that is there, that where all GBV players come on. We've recently again revived these meetings, and they are going to be monthly, so that we all talk about these issues, because it's not all reports that come to gender division, but as they come and talk about these things, we are together. We also work with the churches, like for instance Zingo. I hope you know that it's the mother body for 7. I mean, it's the overall agency for the 7 mother bodies that are there, because there you find the Christians, you find the Baha'is, the Hindus, the Muslims, so we relate with them. We also have even just individual churches like that, and even individual activists. Some of them come through, some of them are even like theater groups, because they're there to educate the public about these issues of GBV. So it's a multi-sectoral thing.
Wonderful. So how can individuals get involved or get really involved in this campaign?
Okay, it's important that individuals educate themselves, because there are a lot of myths that also go on, and misinformation, and especially in these days of social media, you find some people will just speak without verifying something. They will be able to circulate it. It's better they get the facts. Like we have our website, which is www.gov.zm. So if they go to there, they'll find the other links that will give them the facts, especially around these 16 days. A number of facts are going to be put there, information, so it's important that they educate themselves. And it's also important that they get involved. They can get involved, like I said, like as individual activists. They can get involved in their churches. They can get, some of them align themselves to some NGOs or associations. Sometimes it's even in the villages where they are. It's not just about town. Even in the villages where they are, there are all these committees. Some of them may not be directly labeled like GBV, but they are there to help even the individuals to get empowered, so that they are self-reliant. It could be before GBV occurs, which is important, like this year, for us to be able to prevent that. Or it could be after it has happened, even to help convey someone. Sometimes it's even in the, like I mentioned, the campaign that the president launched, that we call it the Are You Safe campaign. And it focuses on 3 major areas. That's safety around the home, the family, the community. We all live in one community or the other. So is that environment safe for us? Don't we know a neighbor, maybe who is going through some form of GBV, or the forms that are there? It could be physical, it could be emotional, it could be sexual, or whatever it is. We should not perpetuate this culture of silence, that we hear something happening in a neighborhood and we're not doing anything. It could even be at school. We see a teacher is molesting a child and no one is concerned. They can't report. They fear that if they report, there are all these whistle-blowing policies that are there where people should feel free and still be able to walk and report, because even the Act talks about us, that we all have this urgency that we should be able to report and not just be on the receiving end. Other things that we can do is, like for instance, even the engagement of men and boys. Yeah, it's important that our men get involved, because for some of us who are like Christians, we know that even when someone gets married like that, you become one. How would one want to inflict pain on themselves? So that wife is part of them. The children are part of them. All these cases of incest that we hear about, people need to be concerned. And we know that because of our deep-rooted cultural beliefs and norms, some of them are negative. I'm not saying all of them. I've said some. Some are, because of the way even these issues of submission, that's why even the church comes in. Sometimes some misinterpret and say the submission, even when someone is going through violence, they have to protect themselves. So our men and our boys are very important in this. And I think I must also hasten here to mention that, yes, the theme is talking more about women and girls, but there are also boys and men that go through GBV. So on the other hand also, even women should also be protected against these boys and girls. We know even all these issues of sodomy and all, it's against boys, most of it. So everyone needs to get involved. And also the other one that I need to mention is the issue of also supporting. Like we can support with our labor, you volunteering somewhere. It could be at an organization. Sometimes it's for free. Sometimes they can give an allowance, but you volunteer. It could also be people that are, like, especially like even the companies or even individuals that have money like that. There are various causes. You find that maybe even in a shelter for GBV, maybe they lack detergents there, they lack one thing or the other. Around this time, it's important to be able to donate, especially even as we go towards Christmas like that. We should also remember that there are others that are suffering there. We help out. It could even be cases of items, whether it's blankets, whether it's laptops. We need to keep data, we need to report. So there are various areas that people can participate in, but major one is also going against this culture of silence.
Culture of silence, wonderful. So as we conclude the program, what are your final remarks?
I think a major one is, I know that we try to center it around these 16 days. There are going to be a number of activities that are going to be happening. It's important that they get to know what it is, even as they tune in like to TV, to radio, whether they're on social media, they get to know where these things are happening and what is required of them. Some, it just takes them to go and listen and even be able to participate. So I think we all need to get involved and not just listening, even to be able to report these cases. And also, as individuals, we also have to make up our minds to make our environment safe for everyone, for the children, for the girls, for the boys, for the men, for the women. And I think one other thing that I shouldn't forget, during the symposium, we are going to have, on the second day, I think it's 29th, we are going to have a live phone-in. Okay. We know we can only bring so many practitioners together to come and deliberate over these issues of GBV, but we are going to give the public also an opportunity to phone in. This will be announced even on our website and our Facebook, so that they can phone in and mention their concerns, and there'll be various practitioners there who will be able to take even their questions. And I think the other one that finally maybe I should mention is, you know, there are toll-free lines like 116 where they can call in if they want. Some don't want to walk into somewhere. They don't want to use their own phone, but there are those toll-free numbers that they can phone in and report these issues of GBV. And sometimes it's not just about reporting, but they themselves may be going through something, and it's not. And most of the ones that we look at are maybe the like physical, sexual. What about the mental? There are some who are undergoing mental GBV. They need to come out. There are counselors on those lines. They'll be able to counsel them, and it's 24/7. As to what, that's why I referred people to the website to put out all the information there, because it's still work in progress for the symposium once they put everything together. But I do know that there's going to be a live phone-in program.
Wonderful.
And so Facebook or our website, they'll be able to get that information.
Okay.
And I'm sure you're also going to scroll it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, we have come to the end of our program. I hope you've learned one or two things. On behalf of the entire Zanis production team, my name is Faith Katai. Goodbye and enjoy a pleasant viewing.